Hello, sir. Now, I didn't catch your name on the introduction.
Yeah,
First of all, sir.
my name is Adam. Pleasure to meet you.
Nigel, pleased to meet you, sir. Pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you. Okay, cool. So, Adam, tell me a little bit about you because obviously we got introduced, but I don't know anything about you. Obviously, I know you're in the real world, and we'll get onto that subject in just a second. But tell me a little bit about you, how old you are, where you live in,
Of
your
course.
life.
My, yeah, my name is Adam. I'm from the Czech Republic, and I'm freshly 18 years old. Um, Working on myself for the past 3 years, and I think in 12 days it will be a year since I've joined the real world.
So you're only 18.
Yeah, I'm only 18. Actually, for
Wow.
about 28 days, I'm 18.
Okay, cool. So, you said you've been working on yourself for the last 3 years. Tell me about that.
Yeah, when I was 15, I was in a relationship, and it all basically started with a heartbreak. The little kid love turned into the big love, and I realized that I want to be, I want to create something bigger of myself. So I
Hmm.
started working out. I started learning how to how to basically take care of my family because I've seen my parents working so hard for the things that uh, I had in my life that I didn't realize I had. All those vacations, my own room, my own PC, mobile phone, all these additional things.
Mm.
And I realized that I need to provide, I need to be the man. So I started with working out. I was as weak as you can imagine a boy to be. I was skinny, I was around 60 kilos, and I could barely do 50 push ups.
Wow.
Five push ups. Five push ups, I meant to say.
5%. Okay. So you started off with working out. So you didn't work out prior to that, and then you started working out, and then
Yeah.
explain on from that. So where did you get to
Yeah,
from that?
so when I was a kid, my parents put me to Krav Maga, so I can learn
Yeah,
some
I know
self
that.
defense. Because
Yeah,
in school I was the kid who didn't stand up to the bigger, stronger boys, so
yeah,
I
yeah.
was effectively bullied. Yeah, so let's call it when my eyes opened, when I realized I need to do something with myself. I
Mm.
basically started doing push-ups on a daily basis,
Hmm.
and then when I got to a point where I could do, I don't know, 30, 40 push-ups,
Mm.
I started working at home, and then I got, after a year and a half, into a gym, and of course now I'm at the point where I do multiple fitness and athletic stuff.
Yeah. Good, 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 good. You have a similar background. You have a similar background as me. But obviously, I grew up in a lovely town called Luton in the UK, and when I was younger, I used to get bullied. You used to be skinny. I used to be short and fat.
Yeah.
And then my mum like my decided to send me to karate, Shotokan karate. And I don't know whether it was because she wanted to, or she wanted me to do something, or whether blah blah. But like, I don't know. It was needed for me. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
All of these other things were needed for me, and then from there, I kind of like thinned out, got a little bit stronger, got a little bit more kind of self-secure, it helped me personally
Yeah.
with all of the stuff that was going on at school and everything else, and it just made me give me a little bit of a stronger mindset. And then obviously trained that got me in the gym, and then from the gym kickboxing, and then so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
tell me about your education, because obviously you
So
were 15, you're obviously thinking you're only 18 now. So was you in school,
yeah,
college, whatever?
I'm still in the third year of high school, of technical engineering high school, near my local town, and
Hmm.
of course I'm not planning on finishing the school. I will finish the third year, and then I will drop out, thanks to the fortunate position I am in with my businesses.
Businesses. I like the sound of that. We're going to get onto that one in just a second. Yeah, I like the way you put the plural on the end of that. I love that. Okay, cool. So, my question to you um, is that a personal choice to drop out? I know your business is doing well, but would you not feel that you needed to finish at least? Because, I mean, if you've got this far, could you not manage to finish the work that you're doing
Yeah.
as well as doing all of the other stuff? Because I mean, you've managed it up until this point.
Yes, I
So
absolutely understand that, and my parents always told me like, "You've come all this way.
all this
Cannot
way,
you
yeah.
wait? Yeah, cannot you
I
just
mean,
wait one more year?"
yeah, in theory, right? Okay, cool. In hindsight, theory, whatever you want to call it, hindsight. You've come all of this way. You may as well just finish the course. Yes, it's a piece of paper. Yes, blah blah blah. But you've also found the avenue that you want to pursue, and you've also found that avenue that you want to pursue and thinking. Now, we don't say that university or college is bad. We say that it has its place. Do you know what I mean? We
Yeah,
has its place for your doctors, your nurses, even class like your engineers, because you could earn skills in there that you necessarily wouldn't learn necessarily in the real world or whatever. Um, but like you,
absolutely.
I'll kind of mimic what your parents are saying. You're doing. It sounds like you're doing very very well at the moment. It sounds like you've only got one more year left to do. Now, I understand that you might feel that I'm going to drop out and I'm going to concentrate on this. That's fantastic, but why could you not manage it in both ways? What's the what's the thought
Yes,
process behind?
the reason I decided to drop out is purely personal, because the problem is not actually the school. I enjoy the subject, but
Hmm.
I know I would never pursue a career in that area.
In the industry?
The thing
That's fine.
is why I want to drop out, because uh, as it said, you are the sum of the five people that are around me. Everybody around me is to some degree a person that brings me down. Even my classmates,
Oh
it's
wow,
all the clubbing, smoking, drinking, partying,
the culture
degenerate
of
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. I get that.
and it's everybody. It's
Yeah,
everybody. So I'm effectively on my own in this region. Yeah.
yeah.
So I know I'm capable of managing so much more in 1 year. Basically, in 7 months, I gained over $20,000 in recurring
Wow,
revenue. Yeah, so
wow.
in, all while being in school, attending.
And I
So
bet you that's more than what all of these other people are going at. They're probably spending 20,000 over a period of time than what they will be doing, like what
oh,
you're doing. So
I don't
you're actually making.
I don't think the people in there never saw 20,000.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
so I'm not putting myself above them. I'm totally respectful to them every single time. I
yeah, yeah, yeah.
hold the normal humanity between us, but
But you just got a
I
different mind.
distance.
You just got a different mindset from what they have.
Yeah,
You got a different mindset. Now I understand. Now I can resonate with. Now I can resonate with what you're saying because like I thought it was well, my business is doing really well. I don't need that, but
yeah,
now you've actually put it in a different way and you put it in a different perspective in the sense of obviously, it's okay, cool. I don't want to be surrounded by people that haven't got any kind of mindset. They concentrate on drinking, partying, blah blah blah, and I don't want to be around that. Now I can understand that fully. I can understand that fully, and I was in another position similar to that where I was in the UK and I was in Bournemouth, and a lot of people kind of always ask me, "Do you want to come out? Do you want to come out? Do you want to come out? Do you want to come out?" I was like, "Nah," and because I didn't want to be surrounded by people that are drunk, that maybe take drugs, that kind of like, do you know what I mean, are in that kind of environment.
hmm,
Because for me, it was like it was a waste of my time. I'd rather be at home. What are you doing? Oh, I've got things to do, this, the other, but I'd be at home, I'll be in the gym, I'll be on my computer. But home, in the gym, in the computer. And I spent a lot of time myself doing just that and kind of learning
yeah,
more about myself rather than being put in those other positions and stuff like that. So I'm you've answered the
yeah.
question, and
That
I
that's
fully am with you on that one. So it's
yeah,
it's one of those. Okay, cool.
yeah.
So
That's
what made you from there? Because you're 15 years old, you're 18 years old now, and what made you join the real world? What kind of
Yeah.
pushed you to the
So
real world?
actually, as I began the journey, let's call it, the first year was just all the information I consumed was from social media. It was
Mm,
Hamza, Goggins, all these influential people. And
hmm.
then eventually, I joined an expensive course on how to start an agency. Yeah.
Yeah,
I won't mention the core. I won't mention the person, but it didn't help me much. It opened my eyes a little bit in the business world,
Yeah.
but a year has passed and I didn't see a single result.
Mm.
So I was watching Tate at the time. I was seeing him once again because when I was starting the first year, I saw a lot of his content when he was booming on all the social platforms. Then
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
stopped. Then I started seeing him again. So I was much more developed at the time. So I must have. I said to myself, this must be something. So actually, I was having an afternoon nap after a heavy workout. I woke up and I just decided I need to buy a membership in the real world. So
Mm.
I instantly bought it, instantly became a hero, and from there it has been
North.
I don't know, yeah, yeah.
All the way up. Okay, all the way up. So, so you joined. So tell me about your journey in joining. Like you've been there. You say just under a year, just over a year.
Yeah,
Is that
under
right?
air, under
Just
air.
under a year, yeah. So tell me from the beginning, like where you went, the campuses you joined, and what were your kind of main key drivers as to
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
point where you got to now, and we'll
So
talk about your business thereafter.
yeah. So as I had the agency knowledge from the courses ahead, I went straight into the business campus and dived into business in a box while watching business mastery, learning on all the sales skills, all the mastering skills. Additional to that, all the networking skills, because at the time I knew that the biggest problem was my sales and my energy, as I was
Yeah,
still young and didn't have the people
yeah,
interaction knowledge. So that was my focus for about 4 months straight.
yeah. Hmm. Okay,
So
go on, go on.
yeah, yeah. So when after the 4 months, I started doing things completely differently. I rebranded, I put a completely new service onto the agency, and within the week, I had my first sale. I had my first client. Yeah. Then 2 months after, I got my another three clients. So from there on, I started bringing cash for the first time ever in my life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then eventually I went to other campuses just to know what there is. I started
What there is.
listening more to the mindset stuff from Luke. I went to the
Yeah,
CCAI campus because there is an enormous energy. And now I focus mainly on AI automation.
cool. How long did it take you to make your first dollar? I don't know from the real world.
From the from the real world, it was
Joining,
about 5 months. Yeah, from joining real world, it was 5 months since I
yeah.
joined.
Okay, cool. And then that's when you started to see results from yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. And if we stay on the kind of subject of money, so from since you joined, just under a year ago till this point now, have you seen a steady increase in your? Because I remember you just telling me earlier on that you made 20K in that month, so I'm super happy about that. But what was the transition? How did you? I mean, after 5 months, you saw your first client, and then you saw your second client, and then tell me about that little. Tell me about that little
Yeah.
that journey of
I
yours.
I joined in May of last year,
Yeah.
and the first client came. It was uh, end of actually September, not October. It was September,
Mm.
and from there on, I have outsourced many things. So up until that point, I was doing everything myself. I was dividing my focus into so many areas. I couldn't focus properly on one. And then talking income wise, from September till now, uh, in September, I was doing 5K a month. Now I
Hmm.
am doing 30,000 a month.
Wow.
So the increase is, I don't know in percentage, but it's
Times six.
what, yeah, it's,
Yeah, times five, times six. Yeah, from what you was making from there from till now. So yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Okay. And obviously this point now you're making 30. Up to this point you're making 30.
mhm.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So what was the hardest part about the journey and what was the hardest part about the journey that you've been on?
Actually, the hardest part, I was going to say, talk about my interaction with people, but actually, the hardest thing is my parents, because
Ah,
my
interesting.
parents are heavily wired to the you need to go to college, you need to stay in school, you need to be normal, why are you acting this way? So I was getting loads of this limiting beliefs on myself. Oh, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I don't know how to do this, maybe this is not for me.
Yeah.
So once I realized that I just need to take the pressure, even at home, from my
Mm,
parents,
mm,
even if they do not understand. And the hardest part of it was, I want to respect them no matter what they do to me. I will
mm.
always show love for them no matter how they mistreat me, how they
Yeah.
disrespect me. Because at the end of the day, I'm their child. They did
Yeah,
everything for me.
100%. 100%. I believe.
So
100%.
that was the hardest part for me, because I always had these objections and excuses. Oh, I don't have a good parents. I don't have a good place to work.
Mm.
So once I overcame that, I went to the skies.
So how do they feel about you now? When they see that you're actually making money, that you see that you've for me, like, I don't know how you was when you was 15, because obviously I just met you now. So for me,
Mhm.
you seem like a very kind of driven, kind of forward thinking person. Like you're determined, you're disciplined, and all those other bits and pieces. Do they see that now in you, or are they
Uh,
still a little bit
not n-
skeptical? Are they?
no, no, yeah, not so much now, because I haven't mentioned a period of my life of how I actually turned to these two sides. When I
Yeah.
was 15, I I didn't do anything. I was just up all day in my room, eating chips, playing video games, taking care of nothing at home.
Mm,
So I didn't do any chores, only when I needed to.
mm,
So nothing actually was from my initiative. And then when I decided to change, it was like a 6 month period of pure hard discipline. I started all of a sudden doing everything in the house. I started cleaning the kitchen every time. I started doing all the chores. I started taking care of my
mm.
parents. So that was the moment, like, what is happening? So then,
God,
so
we got the same son here. Is it what's going on? Is someone else like come into my household? Are
yeah.
you actually Adam? Are you seriously is it Adam? Hello, hello, kind of thing. Sorry, go on. I went into one then.
Yeah,
Go
no,
on, go on, go
absolutely all right. So I started doing all that, and then I started doing my business. So they started seeing me less and less and less, because I was in my room, not playing video games, but working all day.
on. Yeah, yeah,
So they actually became more skeptical if I'm doing my school homework, if I'm learning, if I'm paying
right.
attention, if I'm being a,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
good boy, if
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
doing trouble anywhere. So I actually it was I completely take that as my mistake, because I disconnected myself from them in a
from them.
certain way.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So but now I have patched everything, and they see me as someone who is, even at a young age, what they would never be able to do. I'm completely self-sufficient. I can go through hard periods of times. I can be on my own. So
yeah,
nothing can take me down. I am always there for them to help them, and
mm,
they understand it. They
yeah,
still have that parental instinct of, okay, he's my child. I need to protect him. I want the best for him.
yeah, yeah.
So
They'll always have
yeah,
that. They'll always have that, and they'll always, you can be, I don't know, 30, 40 years old, whatever, blah, blah. They're still going to have that. They're always, always, always going to have that. So they see you now as like the person that you are now, and they're kind of a little bit more acceptable of
yeah.
the
It
pride.
took a lot of sweat. It took a lot
Yeah,
of sweat to firstly get them off college, because it
yeah,
all started. Okay, I'm not going to go to college. So at the time, it was very hard to believe for them, because I wasn't doing any money. I
yeah,
had the mindset, I know what I needed to do, but I didn't have the results I can show to them. Okay, like, look, mom, I made this much. I'm
yeah,
self-sustainable.
yeah, yeah,
So now there isn't really a place for them to objectify.
yeah, yeah.
I
What
want
you
to
do?
drop
Yeah, yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. You've proved your worth in a sense of
Yeah.
the head down and the work that you've actually done. So then they can then sit up and say, okay, cool. Well, mum, look at this, or mum, look at that, or dad, look at this, and blah blah. So I super respect that at your young age as well. I super respect that. What was your what was your biggest doubt, or what was your biggest failure within like starting this
Yeah.
journey? What was the thing that kind of, and obviously you've risen above it,
Yeah,
but
I
what was
got
your
complacent. I got
ah
incredibly complacent. I've got into the point where I need to envision so much
mm,
that like I need to push through this middle class family illusion, and I need to visualize me actually doing the 30,000 a month.
mm,
The next version of me. I started living an illusion. I
mm,
started shaping a reality in such a form I was thinking I'm living the life without
mm,
actually having the results. So I
mm,
was being stagnant, doing the same stuff, not being able to break out, consuming too much content. Even when it was educational, I didn't
mm.
move a step forward. So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was actually
the
the
biggest
biggest
thing.
failure of
Okay,
me.
cool. Flipping that on its head, what was your biggest win? Obviously, your 30K a month, which is fantastic. But how did you get there, and how did
Yeah,
that escalate into
the
there?
biggest win, I think, wasn't actually financial. The biggest win was when I firstly paid. I said, okay, I'm going to take all the uh, burdens off you. Like I started paying the parents' loan for the house and all the loans. So
Mm.
that was my biggest win actually. When I saw
When you
myself as someone capable of taking care of
look
other
after
people.
the family, yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, that's admirable. That's super admirable as well. So before I go into your businesses, um, up until this point, what advice would you give yourself when you first started? Like to maybe move you forward a little bit quicker. And I know your situation is a little bit different in the sense of obviously you had your hurdles were more of your parents, not and a little bit of yourself, but not necessarily yourself. It's more of your parents. But what advice would you give, or how would you change yourself to, if from 15 till now, what kind of things would you change, or what advice would you give yourself?
I think the advice I would give to myself is stop thinking what other people think about you and how they are judging you. Or more so, be unapologetic for who you are and for who you want to be.
My gosh, wow. Do you know what? That's super good because learning that at such a young age is so important. Like moving forward, it's super important. Like moving forward, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I learned that at a later stage in life, a lot later stage in life. But you learning that now at such a young age is super important for your growth moving forward as well. And it's a mindset to have. Like be unapologetic for who you are, because you are the person who you are, and you've made yourself, and you're making yourself. Like you're making yourself the person that you want to become and you want to turn yourself into. And to listen to what other people have to say about you, whether it be criticism, whether it be good, blah blah blah, you kind of take it with a pinch of salt and just throw it away. At the end of the day, you still got your ambitions, you still got your drive, and you still got your determination to actually achieve what you want to achieve. So like that's super important lesson. I absolutely love that. I super love that. Right now, getting on to the good things. Tell me about your business.
So, actually, I'm running a lead gen digital marketing agency
Hmm.
which combines appointment setting and lead gen through ads in the niche of real estate. So, I'm working with all kinds of real estate businesses from both brokerages to actual developers to investors, even architects at this point.
Mm,
And, I provide a package style service.
mhm,
So I come up as okay, I'm going to generate you this much and this much leads. But the
mhm.
twist is they are already qualified for you and you get appointments from them.
Okay, cool.
So I
Yeah.
actually combine lead gen and appointment setting, and then I position it as a growth partner, because especially here in the Czech Republic, all the
Yeah.
people, especially businessmen, are
Mhm,
incredibly skeptical. They don't trust new things, and me
mm,
as a newcomer, especially young, with this type of service and actually pretty bold statements at the
mm,
time, they were all like, "What is this?" So I patched that with a guarantee later on, and on this particular service, I was focusing for like 4 or 5 months. I was doing only this. I was perfecting this, and I was delegating all the
Mm,
things that I could. Because, as I said, when I was starting, I did everything. I
yeah.
was the man who was behind the outreach. I was man who was on the on the sales calls. I
Mhm,
needed to onboard. Needed to do all the contracts. I needed to do all the service delivery, which
mm,
is effectively the thing that was putting me down.
mhm,
Because as I heard from the captain you had on here before, he actually said the same thing. He was selling, made a bunch of money, and then needing to do a bunch of service delivery,
mm,
and then he didn't have any cash again. So this weird cycle kept occurring. And
mm,
then I found media buyer. I built an amazing team of internal killers that I can say, look, this needs to be done. And they don't ask any questions. They
mm.
prepare a presentation of how they will fix it. They just post it in the group chat. I will look it up. Okay, boom, it's done.
It's
So
done. Yeah.
this big machine keeps running 24/7, which
Mm,
is not, I would say, is not something you find in this spectrum of
mm,
agencies in Czech Republic, especially. So that's this first part, and then obviously I listen a lot to Andrew and what he says, and the AI came out. So I started focusing heavily on AI.
mm.
So now the agency part, the lead gen and all this stuff runs more in the background, and I fully focus on building AI SaaS systems for developers.
Awesome. Did you have any while building those systems? Did you have any setbacks? Anything that?
Oh, plenty of
Okay, cool.
plenty of rage outs actually, because I'm a really uh, explosive person. I
Mm,
learned how to be very calm and how to be very direct, but when I get to a point, I'm exhausted and I don't take failures with light hand. No, I'm
mm.
not just okay. It will be fine again. No, I rage quit. So I have destroyed here and there a bunch of computers, which yeah. So then I was pissed off myself because they were all a bit expensive for me at the time. You know, when
Yeah,
I took it doesn't matter. I threw a Mac and throw it out of the window because I was simply pissed. So that was setbacks because then I lost all the progress.
yeah, yeah.
So it was all the coding stuff. Even as good as they teach us in the AI automation campus here in
Uh-huh.
TRW, you need to have the mindset skills, of course, to
Yeah,
actually take that, and you need to understand, which I didn't have at the time.
yeah,
So I needed to learn how to understand all the coding stuff and
yeah,
even the logic stuff, the simple logic stuff. And okay, I understood it. I had bunch of setbacks, bunch of rage quits, and then I delegated, and now
delegate.
I'm now at the leadership position again.
And now you're calm.
Yeah.
No more rage quits. You're calm. You're chilled. Okay, cool. So, a couple more questions. Would you been able to achieve all of this without the TRW? And I kind of know the answer to it because I think you've kind of semi-explained, but I want to hear your version of it. How is it? How's it?
Like if I just decided not to join, or if it didn't exist.
If you decided not to join, or yeah, both.
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
kind of
but
amalgamate
yeah,
both of those into
let
both into.
yeah, let's say actually if I didn't join TRW, one part of my brain says that later on you would be able to do it. Like it would just take longer, it would just take one more year. But
Mm.
actually, no. If I didn't join TRW, I would end up in the same loop, eventually giving up and going to 9 to 5.
College.
Then maybe later on I would open my eyes again.
Mm,
But TRW single-handedly saved me
mm,
years of pain and regret.
mm. That's super good. And then what would you say to the people, the people that you said you was at college with, the people that you said you was at school with or high school with, that were sitting there going out partying and blah blah. If you was to say to them or give a speech to them about why you should join the TRW, or yeah, if you was to give a speech to them about why you should join the TRW and what it's done for you, what would you say to them? Because they're a good
I,
they're a good example to use. Sorry, they're a good example to use because you said you didn't necessarily want to be around them, but if you said that you wanted to kind of, if you thought, okay, cool, let me just give these guys a chance.
yeah,
This is why you should.
actually, as I spend a lot of time in classes where I'm not actually able to do anything, any work, and I just need to sit and consume
Mm,
the information, I spent a lot of time analyzing the people around me. So I
mm.
have divided the people that there is some chance of savior for them. And there is the other half that just even as hard
Just
as I could try, I could
yeah,
say,
it's a
I will
no, no.
pay it for you, I will guide you. No,
They
it's just
wouldn't
the
have.
type that they will not do it. But for the people, I actually three of them I already enrolled into
Oh,
TRW. Even
what's
even my best mate, which I am working on a big deal right now, I enrolled him in TRW as well, because it was such a massive improvement for me. So I wanted to give to my brothers.
mm,
But to the people that don't know yet, I would actually start. I need to think about that because now I'm getting so much pain points I could sell them on.
yeah,
Like they are losing energy, they are losing their future,
yeah,
etc.
yeah,
They will be locked in the system forever.
yeah,
But actually, the simplest thing everybody wants to have is to be valued amongst a group of other people. So I would actually tell them that you can learn and improve your life in a massive way through knowledge and through actions
yeah,
while you are in a community of people that actually value you for who you are,
mm,
not for the things you play on the outside, for the facade that you have on your face. You can be yourself, and they will hold you accountable every
oh,
single day.
yeah,
So there
that's,
is actually no chance to lose.
yeah,
Even
no,
when you slack, you
mm,
have the people that will hold your hand and
yeah.
push you forward.
For sure. Is that, and how did you enroll your best friend? That's what I was gonna. That might have been an easier question to ask you, but how did you enroll your best friend? How did you get
Yeah,
him
so
to the?
actually, it started. We met in person once, and at the time, he didn't even watch any content related to Andrew and
Mm,
Tristan. Actually, he was a bit skeptical of them. He was heavily, uh, I'm looking for the word, influenced by the external world around him, by people from college. Like, oh, they are weird. They have different opinions.
yeah,
So I actually firstly uh, made him listen to what actually Andrew has to say and what his opinions are and who are the people around him and what he does for the world. And then I was just pushing, you got to join you just got to join TRW. And throughout 2 months, I was giving him sneak peeks into TRW and always giving him uh, the content of how much I made thanks to TRW. Or this is what I've achieved thanks to TRW. This is what I learned. Because we are in the same niche, he is
mhm,
super competitive. So when I told him I have this new AI system that saves me thousands of dollars every single month, he
mm,
wanted that. He wanted the people. I could say that I'm talking with one of the most strongest person in TRW, or even right now, I'm on a call with you, which I'm
mm,
incredibly grateful for. And that's something I know he will want as well, because those are values and
yeah,
experiences you
yeah,
just don't want to miss out on.
yeah, yeah. You
So I
give
just
him.
kept pushing the idea join, I will pay it for you, I'd have no problem of giving you the first month for free. So
Mhm,
eventually, I resent him a message from I was Telegram that this is the last chance because there was another propaganda for TRW about this, and then he just joined.
yeah,
So Yeah, if I summed it up.
You gave him insights and you gave him that kind of FOMO, the fear of missing out kind of
Yeah,
thing as well. But you also gave him the benefits of being in there, which is fantastic as well, because obviously the benefits of being in there, what you can make, who you can speak to, how you can network, how you can communicate, and the
yeah.
team that you've got around you, how they support you, everything is absolutely fantastic. Adam, it's been awesome talking to you. I've taken up your time a little bit longer than probably what was suggested, but it's been absolutely super good talking to you. I am super impressed. Uh, you in such a young age, kind of realizing the, just realizing everything and realizing your potential and realizing, like from 15 years old to 18 years old now, how you've done is super kind of inspirational. It's super inspirational for obviously kids your age because I'm older than you, but it's super inspirational kids your age, and like you determine your drive, and even down to like your setbacks with your parents and everything else and like that, and how you kind of push through all of those kind of like obstacles and adversities is super admirable for you. So I can nothing but give you a big
Yeah,
round of
thank you very
applause.
much.
Say,
Thank you very
genuinely
much.
well done on that, because like at such a young age, like people just tend to just go into it and they just start thinking. But you've kind of the obstacles that you've faced to actually get to where you've got to, they're real, genuine kind of obstacles, and I super am admirable for what you've done, and seriously, from the bottom of my heart, just wish you all the best.
Yeah, thank you
Um,
very much. It
keep
means
doing-
a lot of, to me.
yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep pushing as hard as you possibly can do, and you know, like I love the way that you kind of gave insights to your best friend, because obviously that's your best friend. So you want him to grow with you, because if he's your friend and you've kind of got that kind of bond with him, you want him to grow with you. So you've kind of supported that element to it as well. So I super kind of support that, and like admirable for that as well. So we're gonna speak again. We're gonna speak
Yeah.
again because you're like sorry, I forgot to ask. What does the next like 2 years look like for you? I've got to I'm gonna just ask you this
The
real quick before. So what is the next?
so I would the next 2 years I actually don't look as far as the next 2 years because I would say I have pretty busy schedule till the end of the year because
Okay,
I
cool.
know that till the end of the year I will be doing 150 MRR every single month
Yeah,
through the businesses that I'm starting, through the offers that I'm doing.
nice,
I confidently can say I will be on 150,000 every single month. So
nice.
that's full focus on that, and
Yeah, yeah.
actually
Get
whatever is above that I want to of course join the real the war room
yeah,
because of the events and all the stuff that is there is.
and that's
So
even
yeah,
more networking for yourself, and that's even more kind of, yeah, it's even more networking for yourself, so you can then expand upon on top of that as well. So look, like I
absolutely.
said, round of applause. Say well done. I'm super impressed. Um, with you and where you've like your thought process for these last 3 years is super amazing. If everybody can, if everybody has your kind of mindset, then you know what I mean. Would it would be amazing? But Adam,
It would be amazing. It would be
yeah, it
amazing.
would
But
be. It would
As Andrew says, why is gold valuable? Because it's rare. Because it's hard to
Yeah,
find.
exactly. Yeah, there you go. That's the thing. So, right, I'm gonna let you get on. I'm gonna have to shoot off as well. But super good talking to you, and I'm sure we'll speak again, whether it be in a war room, whether it be on here. And like I say, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep pushing forward, and I know you're gonna hit that 150K at the end of the year. I just can feel it. I know you're gonna do it without a doubt. So, and then what happens there afterwards? I can just see you're just gonna be stacking six figures all day, every day. So, yeah, very well done.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much.